Welcome agents, it's Dispatch. Let's talk about build efficiency in the Division 2. This is building off our previous video on DPS, and now that we understand the DPS formula, we can talk more about how it applies to our builds. First, we'll talk about what build efficiency is. Then we'll talk about how it can help us, and then we'll talk about the specifics of each type, what we should prioritize and what we should avoid. As always, we're gonna do some math, baby. First up, story time. Back when I first started the Division 2, I would literally lie in bed thinking about builds and think to myself, there's gotta be some way to crack the formula and come up with the perfect build. It was a puzzle, a problem that I felt I couldn't quite crack. After looking through some spreadsheets online, I struggled to put the pieces together. I realized after some time that I had to do my own analysis, so I put together this spreadsheet. It clicked to me that the devs had assigned different values to each slot on a build. Generally, talents provide the most benefit, followed by weapon talents, followed by core attributes, then minor attributes, then mods. It stood to reason then that I should check each of these levels for each category against each other to see if they all followed the same pattern. Spoiler alert, they don't. For example, critical hit damage brand bonuses are 15% for core and 12% for minor. For skill haste, however, brand bonuses provide 10%, while minor provide 12%. But why do we care about this? This comes down to the design of the game and how it is structured. Since most bonuses are additive, this favors a diverse build that is the perfect balance of multiplicative attributes. Each slot only has certain bonuses that can go into it, and that bonus has the opportunity cost of not being able to be used for something else. So for a skill haste build, we should prioritize skill haste minors and mods rather than brand bonuses, because you get more out of those slots. Most builds try to do or balance at least 2 or more attributes, even in a general sense, especially for solo. In solo play, we have to survive as well as kill the enemy. One way to do this is a hybrid tank DPS build where we're trying to balance armor or armor repair and damage. Therefore, it pays to see if 5% armor brand bonus is going to be better than adding more crit damage, for example. Same goes for even all red DPS builds. Should we use a 4-piece DPS gear set or a high-end set? At balancing crit chance and weapon handling, which one should use brand bonuses or minor attributes to get the maximum benefit? It isn't always cut and dry, but having a basis for understanding this is critical. Here are the general trends. Gear talents are better than weapon talents. Weapon talents are about 1.5 or 2 times better than core attributes. Core attributes are about 1.5 times a brand or gear set bonus. Brand and gear set bonuses are about 1.5 times a minor attribute or a mod. This is one of the reasons why Memento is so powerful. Instead of 2 minors, you get 2 more core attributes plus ridiculous regen and other buffs. Our 1.5 ratios are most apparent with headshot damage and weapon damage, which follow this trend exactly. A headshot damage minor or mod gives 10%, whereas a brand bonus gives us 15% or 1.5 times. Same goes for weapon damage. Fenris, Badger, etc. give you 10%, whereas a core attribute gives you 15% weapon damage. So if we say that these are on par, aka they follow the trend, let's look at the exceptions, starting with the bad exceptions. Armor on kill mods, skill duration mods, armor regen minor attributes, all health attributes are all well below par. 10% weapon handling, 15% critical hit damage, 5% total armor, 5% weapon damage, 10% skill haste, and 20% repair skills are all brand bonuses that are also below par. Hasbro and status effects are usually also below par, but in these cases, you're forming your entire build around these attributes, and so efficiency isn't really taken into consideration as much. Skill damage also seems like it would be below par, but skill damage calculations are a little complicated in which attributes are additive and which are multiplicative with each other, so it heavily comes down to your build, and that can be discussed in a later video. Also, in regards to armor, each armor core gives you an extra 23% of your base armor. To double your armor, you have to put on just over 4 pieces. Total armor brand bonuses only give you 5% multiplicative armor. Even so, it's much lower than even your 6th armor core, which gives you 11% multiplicative armor. So that's still way below par of 1.5 times. Another thing about armor is that it is inferior to armor regen. Doubling your armor regen requires only 2 or 3 brand bonuses and gives you far more survivability than doubling your armor, which requires 4 core attributes. In a future video, we'll discuss the synergy between armor cores and shields, but just know that you shouldn't invest heavily into armor unless you are playing a dedicated tank in a group setting. The armor regen will give you much more armor back over the course of a fight than the armor cores will. Items that are above par: repair skills, minor attributes, skill haste, minors and mods, weapon handling minors, incoming repair mods, protection from elite mods, critical hit damage minors, and critical hit chance brand bonuses. Special note about incoming repairs and protection from elites. Incoming repairs has very few sources and is multiplicative with repair skills for your own self-healing. For a self-healing build, this is best in slot. In a later video, I'll show you my self-healing build. It's pretty wicked. Protection from elites also only has one source and can be very powerful for activities like Countdown, where almost every enemy is an elite. Keep in mind that your cap is 80% though, so there's no point in going over that. Let's talk briefly about armor on kill versus armor regen versus bonus armor. Obviously, quick maths. It takes 10 seconds to regen 10%, which is the same as 1 kill with armor on kill. As with all on-kill triggered mechanics, it is less viable in group play, but for solo play, pay attention to your gameplay. If you're getting a kill faster than every 10 seconds, you will likely be better served by armor on kill. However, if you find yourself bogged down or the enemy has taken cover and you need to get armor back, regen will work better for you. Bonus armor I treat the same as regular armor. This is a reduction or a simplification that most agents wouldn't make. Bonus armor usually expires after a timer, so most would say it's inferior to normal armor. However, bonus armor can proc when regular armor does not. For example, Bloodsucker procs the same as armor on kill, but normal armor on kill provides no benefit if your armor is full. Bloodsucker will. Therefore, I treat them roughly equally. Same thing goes for skill repair. I treat all repairs equally. Armor regen, bonus armor regen, skill repair, and repair talents all functionally work the same, with the only exception being that repairs happen on a tick of 1 second, whereas regen usually happens continuously. Discussions of other talents will have to wait until another video. This one's already getting pretty long. Looking at talents in general, we can see some other trends. Gear set bonuses are highly inefficient until you get your 4th piece and activate the talent. The only exception to this is Hunter's Fury, which is roughly efficient as a 3-piece, since you cannot get 20% armor on kill and 15% weapon damage from only 3 brand set bonuses. Not to mention the health on kill. However, since the range of shotguns and SMGs is roughly the range of the Hunter's Fury talent, and the Hunter's Fury talent is extremely strong, running the 3-peat isn't necessarily a good idea. You can make it work with an outsider-based SMG build, but that's still pretty dubious. Also, it bears mentioning that for armor on kill, you need to kill the enemy. So prioritize damage over things like regen or armor cores. Keep in mind as well that total weapon damage, total skill damage, and total repair skill are separate multipliers from weapon damage, skill damage, and repair skill, respectively. These talents are far more valuable than adding more core attributes. Finally, let's look at weapon mods. Critical hit chance weapon mods are pretty much always best in slot for any build that's not running headshot damage. You have the same amount of critical hit chance on a weapon mod as you would crit damage, whereas minor attributes, you would get twice as much critical hit damage. So you put your critical hit chance weapon mods on your weapon, and you put your critical hit damage in your minor attributes in your mods. Alright agents, that's all for today. Take to the comments and let me know if you're totally bamboozled, if I'm off my rocker, or hey, if this actually made sense. Like if you liked it, dislike for the same, subscribe for more like this. All feedback is welcome. Once again, agents, thanks for learning with me. This has been Dispatch. Take care out there.